As you're all probably well aware, the fine folks over at Line 6 have just very recently released their firmware 3.6 firmware update for Helix and HX Stomp. And again, in my opinion, they've knocked it out of the park. What a great update. And in this video, I'm going to be taking a look at one of the most anticipated additions, I'm thinking, in my opinion, would be the addition of even yet more amazing cabs that were upgraded in firmware 3.5, which added the ability to move microphones around. So we have a whole array of new cab models that are going to complement a lot of the amp models that we have. So without further ado, let's head over to our release notes first to see what exactly was released, and then we'll also go take a look and listen to what these new cabs are all about. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is we're going to actually take a look at the new cabs that we have added. So here is a list of the new firmware 3.60 new cabs. So first off, we have the 112 Bluebell, which is going to be a 112 Vox AC15 Blue Alnico cab. We have the 112 Open Cream, which is going to be a custom 112-inch open back cabinet based off the Celestion G12M65. We have the 112 Open Cast, which is going to be captured from a custom 112 open back EVM 12L, so that's an Electro Voice speaker. We have a 212 Silver Bell, which is going to be a 212 Vox AC30 Top Boost Silver Alnico. We're going to have the 212 Match H30, which is going to be captured from the 212 Matchless DC30 Custom G12 H30. And I think that this is a cab that a lot of folks have been waiting for, along with the next one, which is the 212 Match G25, which is going to be captured from the 212 Matchless DC30 Custom G12 M25 speaker. And finally, we have the 212 Greenback 20, which is captured from the 412 Marshall Basket Weave G12 M20 cab. All right, so how do all of those sound? Well, what I've done here is I've just taken all of these speakers basically and just paired them up with an amplifier that I thought would be kind of suitable, did no other tweaking to it, and just added a little bit of dynamic ambience after, just on the stock settings as they come up so we could at least just hear what they sound like. So first up, I have the Essex A15 amp paired up with the new 112 Bluebell, which as we can see comes up with a 67 condenser at the position 3.6 1-inch back with a low cut at 80 Hertz and a high cut at 10.4 kilohertz. Anybody who follows my channel knows that I'm a huge fan of ribbon mics, so probably one of the first things I would do with any of these is go try out something like the 160 ribbon, maybe a couple inches back. All right, nice stuff on that. Let's move on to the 112 Open Cream. And again, this comes up by default with a 906 dynamic on the cap edge, 2 inches back, and with no lower high cut. And I've paired this up with the Placator Dirty amp just on its stock settings as it comes up. This is a great sounding speaker cab. Again, if this was me, I would likely come in here, get rid of the dynamic mic, bring in that 160 ribbon. And it definitely does not disappoint. Up next, we have the 112 Open Cast. Again, this comes up with the 906 dynamic, cap edge, 2 inches back, no lower high cut. And I paired this up with the Cali 4 Rhythm 2. And these, again, are all stock settings. And as I always do, I head over to the ribbon mics. Let's go with the 121 ribbon. That always needs a little bit of work. Maybe pull that back a few more inches. Very nice stuff. Moving on to the 212 silver bell. This comes up by default with a 67 condenser positioned at 5.5, distance of 1.25 inches, low cut at 90 hertz, high cut at 5 kilohertz. And I paired this up kind of naturally with the Essex A30. All of these on stock settings again. Again, lots to be able to play with there. Let's go back to my favorite ribbon mics here. I can already hear as I'm listening to these all the little tweaks I would make to just dial these in beautifully. Moving on to the 212 Match H30. This comes up stock with a 57 dynamic, position at 5.6, distance of 1, low cut of 60 hertz and high cut at 9 kilohertz. Now keep in mind, these are not settings that I necessarily would use, but these are the ones that come up as default. And without making this video about 3 hours long going through all the settings, I'd rather just show you kind of what these speakers are basically capable of just at their default settings. And I paired this up with the Matchstick Channel 1 amp. Beautiful stuff, but again, as I always like to do, I like to get in there on those ribbon mics. So we really have some beautiful cabs here that are going to allow us to get some really amazing tones. Moving on to the 212 Match G25, 57 dynamic, position 5.3, distance of 1.5 inches, low cut at 60 hertz, high cut at 9 kilohertz. And I paired this up with the Matchstick Channel 2. I really like what I'm hearing, but again, as you can predict, I'd want to come in here with a ribbon mic. If anybody's wondering, I'm playing my Gibson SG today, so that's what you're hearing with all of these. And obviously, different guitars that we play with these are going to have very different outcomes. Moving on to our last of the new speakers, we have the 412 Greenback 20. This comes up default with the 4038 ribbon mic, position at 2.5, distance of 5 inches, and the low and high cut off. And I paired this up with one of my favorite Marshall amps, which is the Brit Trim Norm. I'm guessing because this has the 4038 on it, it's going to be a little tubby and woofy sounding. But again, with this mic, I really am not afraid to pull that distance way back. Or even go back to a more neutral 160 ribbon. All right, so there's some great new additions to our cab section. I hope you enjoyed that. Today, I'm going to leave you with actually a demo video of one of my new Line 6 Marketplace presets, which is my new Grammatic GSG Ultimate preset, which is actually utilizing one of these new cabs that we are so fortunate to have received. So I hope you guys enjoy that. If you like this particular preset, the link is below. It will either be available at the time that this video comes out or in the next day or so. And I hope you enjoy it very much. Thank you so much for sharing your time with me. Please like the video, share it with anybody who you think would get some use or enjoyment out of watching it. Also, please subscribe to the channel. Hit the little bell notification to get notified when I put new content out. I'll be back really soon with some more great firmware 3.6 coverage. Thanks again so much for sharing your time with me. Ciao for now.